Okay, hello, my dearest students. Welcome again. So, first of all, to start my class today, I got a question. This is a very simple but important question. One of the most biggest challenge as a English student that I had to pass, that I had to face it up in my life, was trying to pass the TOEFL test. As you know, and as I mentioned in the previous classes before, at the first time when I took it, I failed. But in my case, my problem, thanks God, it wasn't that I don't have the knowledge because I have been practicing every day. My problem at that moment was I got nervous. I got um and I remember I feel a little impatient with the grammar part. That was my weakness. I don't know what is yours. So I got to exercise TOEFL practice vocabulary 1 and I got TOEFL practice vocabulary 2 because I make sure to all of you and you need to practice more. It's not just necessary to have a good conversation with your teacher or with your classmate because it is a shame because in the TOEFL test they aren't going to measure your pronunciation. You are going to be evaluated according to grammar, listening, and reading. I don't know what is your weakness, but mine was grammar part. So today, in order to help you to pass the TOEFL test, we are going to start every day. We are going to study every day. We are going to practice every day. I'm going to give you my 50 and you are going to give to me your 50% too. Because the time flies. So if you see my portal, you are going to see 2 items. So please, everyone go to TOEFL practice vocabulary 1. This is just a practice. We have been practicing for course 01. Ese es mi objetivo. Vamos a practicar todo el ciclo 01, señores. So, before to start, let's see. Could you please, Irene, turn on your audio? Se prepara Jackie. I got a question. Be honest, please. Good morning, Irene.
Good morning.
Irene, my question is very simple, but please try to be honest. Are you ready to take the TOEFL test?
No, definitely no. We have the opportunity to go to the university last year with a teacher, and to we tried to do it to know our level.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so nervous. And that's why it wasn't for me.
Okay. In your very personal point of view, what do you consider is your weaknesses? Mine was grammar. 8 years ago was grammar. What about you?
Vocabulary because
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't practice too much the vocabulary in the case of reading part, and I think that
Mm-hmm.
it was I don't know, but I felt so confused because I had to read so much information, and it was my weakness.
Okay, but don't worry because today I got some tips for you. And those tips I'm going to help you to improve. Maybe not to pass, but I hope. I hope. But I got some tips to all of you, my dearest students. And One of the advices that I recommend to you, please, hey, take a few minutes to read. Take a few minutes to read. Hey, invest in a book, in an English book, and try to read. Try to find words that you don't understand. Try to find words that you don't know what's the meaning. But if you waste your time always watching television, listening to music, on your social networking, my God, you are going to fail the TOEFL test. I'm sure. I'm sure. Because I did. Ah, no, hombre, si me falta todavía un año para... No, wait, don't waste your time. As I said, I'm going to give you my 50 and you are going to give to me your 50%. Thank you so much, Irene. Jackie, what about you, please? Are you
Mm,
ready to take the TOEFL test? ¿Se prepara, Mauri?
eh, this practice, yes, but the real TOEFL test, no yet.
Why? What is your weaknesses?
My weakness is grammar.
Is the grammar part.
Yes,
Have you been practicing before?
yes, I I have practiced one time,
Is
once,
once a month, once a day, once a week?
no, last year, once a year.
Okay, every day.
No, no.
Just in
There
class.
were two times I think that, I don't remember, two times I no, once, a year last year.
By yourself? Not.
No, it was at the university.
Okay, I got the point. Thank you so much, Jackie. Well, this is this is your business, guys. This is your business. ¿Cómo así, teacher? It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility, okay? Me, as a teacher, as an English teacher, I give you the tools. For example, this is a tool, but it's your responsibility. I don't know if you know, but you need to pass the TOEFL test to graduate. Don't get stressed. Si yo pude pasarlo, que estudiaba y trabajaba todo el día, que tenía responsabilidad, yo sé que ustedes lo pueden pasar porque creo que a ustedes les queda un poquito de tiempo más para estudiar. Si yo pude, que yo me acuerdo que yo tenía clases presenciales a las 6:30, a las 6 de la mañana yo ya estaba en la universidad, a las 8 salía corriendo para la oficina, regresaba a las 6 otra vez de la tarde para tener clases y salía a las 8:10 de la noche todos los días. Entonces, si yo pude, señores, que las herramientas en ese momento eran tan pocas, yo sé que ustedes pueden también porque tienen un poquito más de tiempo. Si es aburrido, créanme que you get boring practicing. Yes, I got boring. But it's necessary. It's just one time. Solo es una vez en la vida en este caso. Solo es una vez en la vida. Entonces, ay no, teacher, ya me afligió porque no way. But please, this is your responsibility. Don't practice just in class. Take a few minutes. Take a few minutes because I'm sure you have free time. I'm sure you have free time. Let's see, Mauri, what about you? Be ready, Ellie, please. By the way, buenos días a todos que no los había, bueno, sí, ya los había saludado, la verdad que sí. Okay,
Good
Mauri,
morning.
what about you? Are you ready to take the TOEFL test?
No, I'm not feeling ready. Last time we took the TOEFL test, I passed it, but with uh, a minimum difference.
But that's
I
good.
mean,
Do you remember what was your score?
I don't know. I think 530 or 50. I don't
That's
know.
good, but that's good.
Yes,
I
but
passed him.
one one practice is different to the real.
Yes,
And
yes it is.
I don't know. I always have this feeling of I don't know, something bad will happen.
Yeah,
The same thing happened with that. with appliance and things like that. I get a good score, but always though I am preparing, I always have the feeling of be more prepared.
Yes, of course. Do you know how much score do you need, Mauricio, to pass it?
Mm, 517, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. The
Okay,
teacher gave us a score, but I don't remember right now.
nice, don't worry, yo les digo ahorita. Ok, para usted pasar el TOEFL, perdón, para usted graduarse, simplemente para graduarse, no estoy hablando para el escalafón. ¿Saben qué es un escalafón de ahí, hijo? Si no saben, díganme, yo les digo. Para usted graduarse necesita 501 para graduarse. Aunque en el caso de ustedes, tengo entendido que ustedes van para profesores. Tengo entendido que esa es la carrera que ustedes están sacando. Pero según mis conocimientos, cuando usted se gradúa como licenciado, solo para graduarse usted necesita 501, 501. To get the escalafón, according to the Ministerio de Educación, you need 520. 520. So, I don't know, because you are ready to be professors. So, I'm not sure. I'm not very sure, but according to my previous information, 501 just to be ready to graduate, and 520 to get your escalafón. What's the difference? The difference is, with a título, you can work as an English teacher, but it is a requirement to get escalafón. Por ejemplo, en mi caso, yo soy certificada por el Ministerio de Educación, pero en este caso, para yo poder ser certificada como Ministerio de Educación en la materia de inglés, yo tengo que tener escalafón. Sus maestros que tienen ahorita tienen que tener escalafón. Porque entonces es como que otros hipótesis, es como que yo no tuviera escalafón, es como que usted y yo fuéramos en el aspecto, entonces otra igual que yo me está enseñando inglés, porque ustedes ya pueden dar clases de inglés. Ustedes ya pueden, ¿por qué? Porque ya tienen en este caso los conocimientos. Pero una cosa es tener los conocimientos y otra cosa es que usted esté certificado. Con una certificación, hijo, usted puede abrir puertas donde a usted le dé la gana. Puede trabajar en una universidad y puede fundar una academia. ¿Por qué? Porque usted está respaldado. Uno no pone una academia solo porque me dan ganas de poner una tienda, porque no es una tienda la que va a poner. Entonces, si usted quiere ser respaldado, en este caso, tiene que tener un escalafón. Sus maestros que le están enseñando ahorita tienen que tener escalafón para enseñarle. Y eso es un requisito previo, aparte de la especialización. Lo bueno es que ustedes están jóvenes. Saben que yo a la edad de los 23 años comencé la universidad. Yo a mis 23 años inicié el ciclo 01. Y a los 23 años yo apenas hablaba los colores y los animalitos. Ustedes están más jóvenes de como cuando yo inicié la carrera. Entonces, ¿por qué les digo esto? Porque ustedes tienen todas las herramientas para pasar el examen, señores, porque ustedes están más jóvenes, tienen más tiempo. Dicho, yo tengo problemas. Todos tenemos problemas. It doesn't matter. Todos tenemos problemas. Todos tenemos situaciones. So, but is your responsibility. Hey, it's just one time. Solo una vez les va a tomar nada más. Just one time. Good morning, Irene. Welcome to your English class. How are you?
Good morning.
Saben que se terminó el café en mi casa y estoy tomando solo pura leche. Ay, no, no me gusta. Yo necesito mi café. Ellie, are you ready to take the TOEFL test, the real TOEFL test?
Good morning. No, I'm not ready
Why?
because I have many problems with the listening. Sometimes I get confused when I feel frustrated because I don't understand, and my mind said, "You don't understand it. You don't understand."
Aha. That's a mental problem because all the students get nervous. All the students get confused, but all the students get exciting. My God, They are very focused on every single detail, but you don't have time to think about it. You have a few seconds to analyze the exercise. Few seconds. So one of my advices today is, hey, don't get try to don't get nervous. Y acuérdense, cuando lo vayan a tomar, hey, desayunen bien, cipotes. Desayunen bien. So, Ellie, as you said, your weakness maybe is grammar. Do you think it is?
Yeah.
Okay, have you been practicing, but not at the university? I mean, have you been practicing by yourself?
Yes, a little bit,
Nice.
but I did it.
Okay. How was your last score? Do you remember?
Uh, yes, it was 430 y algo.
Okay. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. Thank you so much, Ellie. Well, my students, could you please, before to take, this is a piece of cake. Este solamente es un chiste el que vamos a hacer ahorita. This is a piece of cake. So, could you please go to your portal and click on it, TOEFL Practice Vocabulary 1. Click on it on TOEFL Practice Vocabulary 1. This is a piece of cake. This is a joke. This is a joke. So I don't know if you have a dictionary, but if you want, you can use it. If you want, but this is not for this activity. This is your dictionary is for the second activity. So, but if you want to use it, yes, use it because this is just a practice. But if you don't need, please don't do it. So please click on it. TOEFL practice 1 and try to do the exercise. Any question, my dearest students?
No, everything is clear.
Thank you so much, Irene. Me encanta porque Irene siempre es la que me contesta. Con una que me conteste, it is enough for me. Thank you so much. Ok, so son las 7:29, 7:30 aproximadamente. Este le va a tomar unos 10 minutos a lo mucho. But, if you need more time, please let me know. Porque es una práctica. Todavía no los quiero llevar con el tiempo porque es una práctica. So, vamos a ver, vamos con 10 minutos. 7. Excuse me, Ale. Question? No? If you have any question or any doubt, please let me know. But I'm going to give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Creo que son 10 ejercicios, si no me equivoco.
We will send it
No,
in
no
your
way.
no.
No, just then we are going to discuss. How do you feel it? What was the hardest word? Yes, it's not necessary to take a picture. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Please, take notes. Tomen nota de lo que están haciendo, por favor, porque después necesito sus comentarios.
Please, teacher.
Yes, please, excuse me. My microphone was off. Tell me, please.
Y el segundo también, no solo uno.
No, just one. The first one.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Wait for the second. Okay. You finished?
Yes,
Easy? Difficult? A kind of confused?
easy because I didn't know those two words.
Okay. Hey, if you see you got 15 seconds for every single exercise, right?
Yes,
Okay, nice. Excellent.
I finished.
Excellent. Thank you. How was it?
Oh, very easy.
Easy, right? Excellent. I like it. Nice. I like it. Hey, you have to feel confident, okay? Because you can do it. You are very intelligent. But don't forget to practicing. Practice makes good, but not perfect. So I'm waiting just for Anita, Irene, Jackie, and Maui, right? 5 minutes left. Excellent. How was it, Irene?
I finished, teacher.
Excellent. Thank you, Mauri. How was it, guys?
A little confused, but
Uh-huh.
I learned some new word.
Okay, nice. What about you, Mauri?
It was easy, teacher.
Easy peasy, right? Nice. Excellent. That's the way. Because you have to feel confident. Pero les aseguro que si comienzan a practicar hoy tómense 10 minutos. Déjeselo como, como una homework. Tómense 10 minutos. Hey, hoy voy a leer un libro en inglés, 10 minutos, y las palabras que no entienda las voy a ir sacando. Tengo 3 ejercicios de listening también, que ya los vamos a hacer. Tengo 3 ejercicios de listening, pero quiero comenzar con vocabulario. Please don't do it. Don't exercise 2, please, okay? 4 minutes left. I'm just waiting for Anita and Jackie. Excellent. Thank you, Anita. How was it? Easy peasy, right? Oh, your microphone. You're far away. Yes. Much better. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much better. Much better. Teacher, ¿cuántas veces se hace el TOEFL? O sea, cuando usted ya lo ha pasado una vez y ya tiene su escalafón, ¿lo tiene que volver a hacer? Depende de la institución donde usted trabaje. Si usted trabaja en un colegio, en una escuela pública, como maestro de inglés, y no como maestro de matemática, como maestro de inglés, no es necesario que usted haga el TOEFL. Ya usted tiene su escalafón, ya estuvo, ya lo pasó. Pero cuando usted es catedrático, sí a usted le exigen que actualice el TOEFL. O sea, en este caso, el TOEFL solamente, ojo con esto, el examen TOEFL, cuando usted lo ha pasado, solamente tiene una validez de 3 años. Ah, ya lo pasé, lo voy a guardar. No. En este caso, si usted quiere trabajar en una escuela pública o en un colegio, no le van a andar pidiendo que lo actualice. Pero, por ejemplo, así como en mi caso, que soy catedrático, sí tengo que volverlo a hacer. Entonces, y obviamente ya, media vez usted lo pasa, ya se actualiza en este caso. Solamente cuando usted trabaja en una universidad, por ejemplo, la tecnológica le pide que usted haga el TOEFL cada 3 años. Las demás universidades no tengo idea, pero en la tecnológica, para usted poder trabajar como catedrático, ya sea como plaza fija o por horas, en ese caso, le piden que usted actualice cada 3 años el Toefl. Mandan a todos los catedráticos a hacer el Toefl. Y catedrático que no lo pase, catedrático que no contratan. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos enseñando profesionales, chicos. Ustedes van para profesores profesionales, entonces obviamente no puede estarle dando clases a alguien que no haya pasado el Toefl. Sería absurdo eso. Es como que yo quiera enseñar medicina. Tengo que tener una autorización. Hay que prepararnos para la vida, chicos. Ok, Jackie, finish?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much. Tengo el ejercicio TOEFL practice vocabulary too, but this is going to be a practice. You are going to do it by yourself as a homework. It's not a homework, as an assignment. So, in your house, in the afternoon, in the evening, if you want, please click on it because this is going to be just a practice, not for today, not for now, excuse me, not for now's classes. So please do it in the afternoon when you feel relaxing, when you have enough time, because this is tougher practice vocabulary, but it has around 50 words, I think. So take your time in the afternoon, take your time in the evening, and do it. And please, it's not necessary to take a picture. It's not necessary to take a screenshot. Just do it. And then we are going to discuss it. How do you feel? And please, how many words do you know? Teacher, that word was new for me. So now I know the meaning. So about the grammar part and about the reading part, as more vocabulary you learn, it's going to be easy for you. Okay? So my advice is read. Take a few minutes to read. So TOEFL practice vocabulary 2 is going to be your assignment. You have all the afternoon, you have evening to do it, and then we are going to discuss it for the next English advanced class. Any question about it, my dearest? Any question about it? 5, 4.
Do you have a picture?
It's not necessary. No, it's not necessary. It's not a requirement for today. Just do it by yourself. Do it by yourself, yes. And then for the next class, Jackie, we are going to discuss. But hey, please take notes. For example, in the TOEFL practice vocabulary 2, I cannot remember well, but we got at least, I don't know, 30 or 50 words, new words. So the word that you don't know the meaning, write it down. Write it down and look for more information about that word. So this is for practicing. This is for practicing. Okay, thank you. Another question more? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, my dearest students, look at this one. Vamos a ver acá, vamos a ver acá, vamos a ver. Quiero ver. 1, 2, 3. Creo que solo en el, vamos a lograr hacer hasta el número 2 quizás, porque no los voy a llevar a la carrera, porque ya que estamos haciendo prácticas tenemos tiempo. Okay, could you please, Alessandra, help me to read the instructions?
Okay, sure. In this question, you listen to a lecture, then answer a question related to the lecture. Answer the questions based on what is stated or implied by the speakers. You may take notes while you listen. You may use your notes to help you answer the question. We recommend you practice taking notes with a pen and paper like you will during your TOEFL exam.
Thank you so much, my dearest. Okay, señores, please take a piece of paper. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Take a piece of paper, take a pen, take a pencil. It's your option, whatever you want is okay for me. Now, we are going to listen the conversation once. And then we are going to discuss. You are going to explain to me how well you understand. I'm going to make sure your comprehension, but please, no se presione así como que No me traduzca what you understand. Don't translate what you listen. Okay? Try to be fluently. Any question? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Irene. Thank you so much. Okay. Please listen to
Listen to
exercise
part of a lecture in an
1.
anthropology class.
So we've been discussing 16th century Native American life, and today we're going to focus on the Iroquois and Huron peoples. They lived in the northeastern Great Lakes region of North America. Now, back then, their lives depended on the natural resources of the forest, especially the birch tree. The birch tree can grow in many different types of soils and is prevalent in that area. Now, can anyone here describe a birch tree?
They're tall and white. The bark, I mean.
Yes, the birch tree has white bark. And this tough, protective outer layer of the tree, this white bark, is waterproof. And this waterproof quality of the bark, it made it useful for making things like cooking containers, a variety of utensils. And if you peel birch bark in the winter, we call it the winter bark, another layer, a tougher inner layer of the tree, adheres to the bark, producing a stronger material. So the winter bark was used for larger utensils and containers.
I know people make utensils out of wood, but utensils out of tree bark?
Well, birch bark is pliable and very easy to bend. The Native Americans would cut the bark and fold it into any shape they needed, then secure it with cords until it dried. They could fold the bark into many shapes.
So if they cooked in bowls made of birch bark, wouldn't that make the food taste funny?
Oh, that's one of the great things about birch bark. The taste of the birch tree doesn't get transferred to the food, so it was perfect for cooking containers. But the most important use of the bark, by far, was the canoe. Since the northeast region of North America it's interconnected by many streams and waterways, water transportation by vessels like a canoe was most essential. The paths through the woods were often overgrown, so water travel was much faster. And here's what the Native Americans did. They would peel large sheets of bark from the tree to form lightweight yet sturdy canoes. The bark was stretched over frames made from tree branches, stitched together, and sealed with resin. You know, that sticky liquid that comes out of the tree? And when it dries, it's watertight. One great thing about these birch bark canoes was they could carry a large amount of cargo. For example, a canoe weighing about 50 pounds could carry up to 9 people and 250 pounds of cargo.
Wow. But how far could they travel that way?
Well, like I said, the northeastern region is interconnected by rivers and streams and the ocean at the coast. The canoes allowed them to travel over a vast area that today would take a few hours to fly over. You see, the Native Americans made canoes of all types for travel on small streams or on large open ocean waters. For small streams, they made narrow, maneuverable boats, while larger canoes were needed for the ocean. They could travel throughout the area, only occasionally having to portage to carry the canoe over land a short distance to another nearby stream. And since the canoes were so light, this wasn't a difficult task. Now, how do you think this affected their lives?
Well, if they could travel so easily over such a large area, they could trade with people from other areas, which I guess would lead them to form alliances.
Exactly. Having an efficient means of transportation, well, that helped the Iroquois to form a federation. linked by natural waterways. And this federation expanded from what is now southern Canada all the way south to the Delaware River. And this efficiency of the birch bark canoe also made an impression on newcomers to the area. French traders in the 17th century modeled their, they adopted the design of the Iroquois birch bark canoes, and they found they could travel great distances, more than 1,500 kilometers a month. Now, besides the bark, Native Americans also used the wood of the birch tree. The young trees were used as supports for lodgings, with the waterproof bark used as roofing. Branches were folded into snowshoes, and the Native American people were all adept at running very fast over the snow in these birch branch snowshoes, which, if you've ever tried walking in snowshoes, you know isn't easy.
Okay. What kind of details we need to take into account? Teacher, but at the minute one, I get confused, I get boring, I get stressed. Yes. So one of the tips that I got before to continue with the listening, number one, look at this one. I got some tips that can help you to understand in a better way about the listening part. For example, in most cases, this is for listening, okay? In most cases, the first question after each lecture is a main idea. For example, in that listening, they were talking about the branch tree. In this case, they were asking at least 4 questions. I don't know if you couldn't recognize it, but at least 4 or 5 questions. So the first one is going to give you the most details. It's a main idea question, also known as a guest question, like a clue question. At the beginning of the listening lecture, the professor usually mentions what the main topic of the lecture will be about. If you see, they were talking about, they were talking about a birch tree from the beginning, and they still continue talking about the same topic too. During the listening, yes, we got an extra topics, but subtopics, but they were talking about from the beginning until the end about the branched tree. So, but sometimes the topic might be branched into something more specific. Please note the topic can change. Most of the time, the topic changed, but not in a completely way, because they were talking about the birch tree from the beginning until the end, but then they were describing the useful of that tree. And then they continue, not changing the topic, but they continue to say, hey, how affect their life? Another question more. They said, how affect their life? For whom? So always be prepared to note down any new topic. Okay, in the real TOEFL test, you cannot have an extra paper. Just you and God. So you cannot take notes. That's why I'm asking you to practice in front today. So tip number one, the first question after each lecture is the main idea, but be careful because the topic may change, but not in a completely, like this one. They start talking about the birch tree, but they continue still in talking about it, but then they were talking about the useful of that. And then at the third part, because Siempre en un listening, señores, hay tres partes. Part 1, Part 2, and Part number 3. Part 1 is the main idea. Part 2 is the discussing. And Part 3, in this case, is the end that they are going to miss all the information. So in Part 2, the topic always change the way. They are still talking about the same, but in a little, how can I explain that? In the part number 2, they still continue about the same topic, but using most of the time as a description. Casi todos los listening comienzan hablando de algo y de ahí comienzan como que sacándole ramas, vea. Ok, ¿y para qué es eso? Y fíjate que eso es the second part. But if you catch the main idea, it's okay. Hey, don't get stressed with the words that you don't understand and don't think about it. Hey, what does it mean? Continue listening. Don't stop. Hey, what is that? Hey, what does it mean that? No, my God. Continue listening. Don't stop it. And don't try to translate. Never, please. Don't try to translate. It's a kind of stressful. Yes, it is, but it's just one time. Solo va a ser una vez en la vida. So, tip number 2. Sometimes you will be asked questions regarding the speaker's attitude or opinion, as I said before. At least, we got in that listening 4 questions, at least. At least 4 questions. And one of the questions was, do you know what is the branch tree? Could you please describe it? Something like that. And the man said, it's tall. Very simple. It's use of what? So, you will ask a question regarding the speaker's attitude or opinion. To answer these questions correctly, one of the boys matters. Yes, of course. Casi siempre la pregunta sale de la entonación, que por cierto eso es otro tip. For example, does the speaker sound excited? Does the speaker sound excited, confused, sad? That is important. The voice, as the tip number 2 said, matters. Listen to how ideas are connected throughout the lecture. When listening to a lecture, make note of the way the ideas in the lecture are connected. In other words, how the professor organized the lecture. When you encounter a question asking you how the lecture is organized, you can refer back to your notes. Some of the main relationships between ideas include cause and effect. Cause and effect. ¿Por qué? Si se fijó en el audio, una de las preguntas que le hacía era, how affect their life? Pregunta. So be focused on questions. How affect their life? Compare and contrast. The man said, hey, can you please, you know what is the branch tree? Could you please describe it? And he said, it's tall, it's made of wool. Okay, that's it. Compare and contrast and steps in a process. Tip number 3. Listen for the key points, not specific details. As I said before, if you don't understand a word, if you don't understand that part of the conversation, don't stop it. Don't thinking about detail. Hey, my goodness, what does it mean that? I cannot understand because he said something about it. Don't wait, don't stop it. Just continue listening. Just continue listening. Taking notes in your mind. Toefl listening question will not test you on a small detail. Yes, because you don't have enough time to think about it. Just a few seconds. For example, you will see questions that are about a specific year, or maybe a specific topic, or maybe on a specific animal, or maybe in a specific situation, or maybe on a specific person. In this case, specific year, name, or location. Instead, question will text your understanding of key points mentioned in the lecture. So, teacher, how can I pass the TOEFL test? Practice from today, please, guys. Look for more exercise. Look for more information. Teacher, my weakness is the grammar part, so try to learn new words every day. But invest in a book, in an English book, about technology, about science. The Little Prince, sí, el Principito le va a ayudar, sí, pero no es el tipo de lecturas que sacan en el TOEFL. Read about science, read about technology, read about apps, read about insects, weird insects. So, listen for signal words that indicate different parts of the lecture to help you capture key points in the lecture. You need to learn to listen for signal words or transition words. What is a transition word? A transition word is like when, as a Salvadorian said, vos sos bien coco, because it means you are very intelligent. Hey, vos sos bien buxo. It means you are very, very smart. That is transition words. Most of the time they aren't going to use the specific word for smart or intelligent maybe. Or for stupid, maybe, for example. They're going to be, instead of stupid, they're going to be clumsy. Hey, you are very clumsy, like hey, you are very dumb. So, transition words. How can I practice transition words? So practice every day new vocabulary. Please read from today. These words are like the road sign that tell you what is coming next. Signal words can tell you the beginning of the end or a topic. They can also help you move through the middle of the lecture by introducing topics. Any question, my dear students? No, hombre, teacher, yo, el hambre me quitó, teacher. Any equation no is going to be easy. If you practice, it's going to be easy. So, any comment, please?
We are not going to take notes, right?
No, it's not allowed. It's not allowed. Yes, it is a shame because, I don't know, but it is a lot of information, Alessandra. They had to allow it to us to have a piece of paper or something like that, but the problem is it's not allowed to have a piece of paper. It's like a pie because you are going to fill circles, but just with a pen. De hecho, ellos te dan todo el material, hasta el lápiz creo que te dan ellos, si no me equivoco. So, porque hay un lápiz especial para, yo creo que, o sea, no es que hay, de hecho hay un lápiz especial. Entonces, yo me acuerdo que a nosotros ellos nos dieron el paquete y en el paquete venía el lápiz. ¿Trae borrador, teacher? No trae borrador. El circulito que usted elija es el circulito que ya quedó. Es el circulito que en este caso ya quedó. So, en una forma así de contra la pared, between a rock and a hard place, what was the listening about? Any idea, please? What was?
The value of birch trees.
Okay, we got difference. Aha, nice. Thank you, Mauri. What else? Una de las cosas es esta. Quiero que se sienta confiado. Quiero que se sienta confiada. Aquí no estamos haciendo el real test. Así que, please, dígame su idea, porfa. Teacher, yo creo que dígame su idea porque es parte de la base que yo necesito que usted agarre confianza. Okay? So, ladies, thank you, Mauri. Now, please, ladies.
The second one, but I'm not sure.
Ajá. Could you please read? Ajá. No. In general, don't see my screen. I'm not asking you about the question one. Perdón, como tengo el chat aquí abierto, no me había fijado que hice la misma pregunta que está ahí. No. In your opinion, in your very personal point of view, what is the reading, the listening, excuse me, about? Tell me your opinions, okay. Primero quiero ver si ustedes lograron comprender. Because if you don't understand, we got a problem. Ladies, thank you. Ale, Anita, Ellen, Irene, Jackie.
I couldn't
The
understand.
16th century. And
Okay.
problems that they have with the economy and Birch tree. That's I take notes.
Okay, nice. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's see. I got Irene, I think. You have to feel confident, guys, okay? You have to feel confidence because you're intelligent. But the problem is that I face now because you haven't been practicing, señores, y qué hemos estado haciendo durante todo este tiempo. Al menos que usted me diga, mire, teacher, yo después de clases trabajo hasta la 1 de la mañana, ok, le creería yo que sí, ¿verdad? Pero where have you been? Como dice la canción de la Rihanna, ajá. Yes?
Can I give my opinion?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
I didn't understand very well, but
Ajá.
because there were many new vocabulary for me,
Yes.
I heard, but it mentioned the different mediums of transportation, but it mentioned a word that I didn't understand. It
Okay.
was, I don't remember exactly, but it mentioned trees
Mm-hmm.
that I think that they used to build the medium of transportation. I don't know.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Anita, Ellie, ladies.
So do you wanna summarize?
No. Yes, this is just for a discussion. It's not necessary to gotta summarize. I just want to make sure you understand a little bit, at least a little bit. So I don't know if Anita, Ellie understand something or be honest, no teacher, my God, I'm almost died. So yes, but please give us your opinion because you are going to take the test.
Me, I
Mm-hmm.
understand a little bit, but they mentioned many words that I didn't know.
Okay.
One of them, it was be trees, and I don't know how to write that. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
the meaning.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Ellie. That's why I'm asking you to do the TOEFL practice vocabulary too. Se van a dar gusto con este link, señores. Por eso les digo que lo hagan en la tarde cuando ustedes ya se estén echando el cafecito, el tecito, el agua, la soda, lo que a usted le gusta tomar. Por eso es que quiero que hagan el TOEFL practice too, porque ahí sí tiene un sinfín de vocabulario. Un sinfín de vocabulario. Si no habíamos estudiado antes, hoy lo vamos a hacer, señores. Por eso yo les dije ayer, les voy a caer mal, les voy a aburrir. Pero prefiero caerles mal y que digan, puchica, con esa señora, bueno, ni señora, ni que estuviera viejita, con esa chera aprendimos, no, me colmó la paciencia, pero pasamos el examen. A que digan, no, hombre, vos ahí en inglés avanzado nada, nos enseñaban, fíjate, cosas por gusto. No way, please. So that's why I'm asking you to practice the TOEFL number 2, this one, in the afternoon, in the evening, when you have time. Okay, now, look at the difference. We are going to listen again, but with the screen. So, please, take notes. Yo creo que no estaban tomando notas, solo Ale creo que tomó nota nada más. Please, take notes because we are going to listen, but at the same time, you are going to read the test. Okay, please pay attention.
Listen to part of a lecture in an anthropology class.
So, we've been discussing 16th century Native American life, and today we're going to focus on the Iroquois and Huron peoples. They lived in the northeastern Great Lakes region of North America. Now, back then, their lives depended on the natural resources of the forest, especially the birch tree. The birch tree can grow in many different types of soils and is prevalent in that area. Now, can anyone here describe a birch tree?
They're tall? and white? The bark, I mean.
Yes, the birch tree has white bark. And this tough, protective outer layer of the tree, this white bark, is waterproof. And this waterproof quality of the bark, it made it useful for making things like cooking containers, a variety of utensils. And if you peel birch bark in the winter, we call it the winter bark, another layer, a tougher inner layer of the tree, adheres to the bark, producing a stronger material. So the winter bark was used for larger utensils and containers.
I know people make utensils out of wood, but utensils out of tree bark?
Well, birch bark is pliable and very easy to bend. The Native Americans would cut the bark and fold it into any shape they needed, then secure it with cords until it dried. They could fold the bark into many shapes.
So if they cooked in bowls made of birch bark, wouldn't that make the food taste funny?
Oh, that's one of the great things about birch bark. The taste of the birch tree doesn't get transferred to the food, so it was perfect for cooking containers. But the most important use of the bark, by far, was the canoe. Since the northeast region of North America it's interconnected by many streams and waterways, water transportation by vessels like a canoe was most essential. The paths through the woods were often overgrown, so water travel was much faster. And here's what the Native Americans did. They would peel large sheets of bark from the tree to form lightweight yet sturdy canoes. The bark was stretched over frames made from tree branches, stitched together, and sealed with resin. You know, that sticky liquid that comes out of the tree? And when it dries, it's watertight. One great thing about these birch bark canoes was they could carry a large amount of cargo. For example, a canoe weighing about 50 pounds could carry up to 9 people and 250 pounds of cargo.
Wow. But how far could they travel that way?
Well, like I said, the northeastern region is interconnected by rivers and streams and the ocean at the coast. The canoes allowed them to travel over a vast area that today would take a few hours to fly over. You see, the Native Americans made canoes of all types for travel on small streams or on large open ocean waters. For small streams, they made narrow, maneuverable boats, while larger canoes were needed for the ocean. They could travel throughout the area, only occasionally having to portage to carry the canoe over land a short distance to another nearby stream. And since the canoes were so light, this wasn't a difficult task. Now, how do you think this affected their lives?
Well, if they could travel so easily over such a large area, they could trade with people from other areas, which I guess would lead them to form alliances?
Exactly. Having an efficient means of transportation, well, that helped the Iroquois to form a federation linked by natural waterways. And this federation expanded from what is now southern Canada all the way south to the Delaware River. And this efficiency of the birch bark canoe also made an impression on newcomers to the area. French traders in the 17th century modeled they adopted the design of the Iroquois birch bark canoes, and they found they could travel great distances, more than 1,500 kilometers a month. Now, besides the bark, Native Americans also used the wood of the birch tree. The young trees were used as supports for lodgings, with the waterproof bark used as roofing. Branches were folded into snowshoes, and the Native American people were all adept at running very fast over the snow in these birch branch snowshoes, which, if you've ever tried walking in snowshoes, you know isn't easy.
All right, give to me a few seconds, please. Okay, a few seconds, please. Thank you. Okay, nice. Vamos a ver. Let's see. Okay, here you are. Okay, I already sent into your group the link. Wait a minute, please. It's Charlie. Okay. Wait, please. My God. Yes, I got connection. Okay, wait, please. Wait. Señores, estoy mandando solo un link. Ahí está ya. Okay, so please click on it. Click on it. Okay, ahí estamos. So please guys, I already sent a link to your group. Click on it and try to do the exercise. Try to do the listening test. So if you need any help, any extra help, please let me know. So this is going to be a practice. Yo pensé que íbamos a lograr alcanzar hacer el ejercicio 2, pero no lo vamos a alcanzar a hacer. So, I'm going to give you, what time is it? Okay, 8:15. I'm going to give you, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes, it is enough. Al cumplir 15 minutos, a las 8:30, vamos a ver cómo vamos. So, any equation, please, my dearest students?
Solo este.
Yes, just this one. Just this one. Okay, another question, please. Okay, 15 minutos, chicos. Tómense su tiempo en el aspecto de relax. Okay? Don't get nervous. Just relaxing. O sea, hágalo así como que, yo lo voy a hacer de todas maneras, así, tal cual, así, exacto. No se estresen, no se complique. Señores, 8:30 y vamos a ver cómo vamos ahí. El audio, si no lo quiere escuchar todo otra vez, lo puede arrastrar. Pero para que le salgan las preguntas, tenemos que arrastrar todo el audio para que dé a entender que usted ya lo escuchó. Pero si usted quiere escucharlo nuevamente, it's your business. Don't worry about it. Okay, Ellie, if necessary, do it, please. Don't worry, okay? And join the class again at 8:30. If it's necessary to leave the class to listen the audio, do it, please, okay? Enjoy the class again. This is just if you want to listen again. Yes, Jen, Jackie.
I cannot listen what you say because I am listening the listening.
Okay, excuse me.
Okay, what do you say?
No, que si quieren salirse de clase para escuchar el audio, denle y después vuelven a ingresar. Porque Eli tuvo que salirse para escuchar el audio. It's your option. I'm so sorry.
And do you want the score?
Not yet. Not yet. Thank you, Ale. You ready finish?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Nice. Okay, guys. 1 minute left. Okay, it's time. So I don't know, Ale, yes. She already finished. Let's see, Anita, what about you, please?
I'm number 4.
Excuse me?
I am number 4.
I cannot hear you well. Sorry, Anita. Could you please repeat it?
Now,
Yes, now. Much better.
I am in the number 4.
Ah, ok, excellent. Perdón ahí, hija. Yo creo que quizás I'm not in your audio or mine. Thank you. Let's see, Ellie, you already finished? Yes, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Irene?
Yes.
Thank you, Mauri.
Yes.
Perfect. And Jackie?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so Ale, how was your score? Was good? Pretty good?
Not really.
So far, so good?
Kind of.
Yes, how was your score? Good or so far, so good? If you want, you can share. If you don't want, it's okay, okay? I respect.
50%.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, Ellie, what about you? Thank you, Ellie. Please, how was your score? Good, so far so good.
So far, so good because I have 4 that was good and I make a mistake in 2, right?
Yes,
Or 1.
4 of 6.
Huh? Yes.
Excellent. Okay, that's good. Let's see, Irene, Jackie, Mauri.
Teacher, I have a question. We had to do the other listening practice or just
No,
the
just
listen
this.
practice?
No, just this one. Yes, just practice one.
Then I got two,
Next and
from
next.
6. Two correct answers.
Yes, but how was your score? So far so good. Like a pity.
I don't see any score.
Ah, really? Okay, okay.
No,
It's on the
I
top.
don't.
It's on the top. Say your score. Your
So,
score. 6 plus 6 or 2 plus 6. It's on the top. Yes, it's on the top. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
okay.
Let's see. Jackie, Irene, please, ladies.
So far, so good. I
So far, so
we good and we bad.
okay, okay, pretty, okay, nice, thank you. Let's see, okay. Vamos a ver
Listen to
acá.
part of a lecture in an anthropology class.
In an anthropology class, espérenme que no.
So we've the waterproof, these birch branch snowshoes, which if you've ever tried walking in snowshoes, you know isn't easy.
Okay, so what is the lecture mainly about? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Different kind of trees use, okay, number 3, okay. Various methods of Native American transportation, develop birch or trading or beach wood product. Yes. Someone said number 3. Yes? Yes, it is? I got 6 students. Well, 5 because one already participated. Yes. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
3.
Okay. Let's continue. Could you please, Ellie, me ayudas a leerla el statement, por favor? Could you help me to read the statement?
Okay. Number 2, according to the professor, what characteristics my goodness.
Characteristics.
Eso, of birch bark made it useful to Native American
Choose to answer.
Choose to answer. Okay, answer one, my dearest students. Quickly, please. Answer one.
It repeats water.
Okay, answer two.
It is easy to fall.
It is easy to fall. Okay, thank you so much. Number three, could you please, Mauricio, help me to read the... Oops, I don't know what happened with Mauricio. Let's see, maybe the connection. Alessandra, could you please help me to read the statement?
Sure. According to the professor, why was the canoe important to some Native American groups? Choose two answers.
Okay, please, ladies, answer one. You have to choose two
Yes,
options.
1 and 4.
One and number four. Okay, thank you so much. Let's continue. Anita, can you help me to read a statement four?
Why does the professor mention French traders who arrived in the Iroquois region?
Okay.
Number three.
Number three, to support. Okay, thank you. And number five, could you please, Jackie, help me to read the statement?
Yes. Listen again to part of the lecture, then answer the following question. Why does the student say this?
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, or 4.
4.
Okay, no lo puedo bajar, espero que sí me lo agarré. Okay, thank you so much. And the last one, let's see. Oh my God, we have just 5. You have seen all the questions in the listening section, view results. Okay, what is the lecture mainly about? Okay, look at this one. Different kind of trees used for building canoes, various methods of Native American transportation, the value of birch trees, some Native American groups, or the training of birch wood products by European North in America. Okay, we got option number 3. As I said, they were talking about the birch trees from the beginning and at the end of the conversation. But what was the tricky? The tricky was the woman was asking many questions. And most of the questions were related with the Native American groups. So, different kind of trees, sí, esto fue al principio. Esto fue al principio que comenzaron hablando, ¿ok? But various methods of knitting también fue al principio en este caso. The trading birch of wood products by European in North American. Okay, this was at the end. So the tricky was here in the second part, that will be always the first question. ¿Escucharon lo que dije, verdad? The second part, that we always got the first question. They were talking about the value of the beech trees. Related, not just talking about the different kind of the method, no, they continue talking about the same topic but with a subtopic. ¿Cuál es el subtema aquí ahora? Ah, the Native American groups. Y de ahí en este caso continúa, vean. So, primera pregunta, will be always from the second part. No sé si ya les habían enseñado eso, pero y si no, pues ahí estamos. The first question will be always from the second part. Y muchas veces sale de la primera pregunta que hace la persona. Cualquiera de los dos, en este caso que estén participando. According to the professor, what characteristic of birch? Ah, characteristic. Ok, aquí ya está, tenemos algo específico. According to the professor, pero el que vamos en este caso a tomar en cuenta, characteristics. ¿De qué? Y seguimos hablando del mismo tema. Characteristics of the birch bark made it useful to Native American. Choose two answers. It repels water. It is easy to fall. Por ejemplo, en este caso, por ahí mencionaba la palabra que estaban comiendo o algo así. Yo sé que más de algunos se pudo haber así como confundido en este caso de que, O sea que la corteza, porque en este caso cuando estamos hablando del bark, ¿qué es bark? El bark es la corteza del árbol. El bark es la corteza del árbol. Ahora bien, ¿cuáles son las características del bark? El árbol se llama birch, que son esos árboles frondosos, gordotes, súper altos. Hermosos son esos árboles. Entonces, ¿qué es el bark? Es la corteza que se desprende. Pero obviamente el bark, todos los árboles tienen bark, o sea, todos los árboles tienen una corteza que se desprende. Entonces, ¿cuál en este caso es una de las características? If it feels water, it is easy to fold. Es fácil de quitar, o sea, el pliegue, fold. Entonces, teacher, yo no sabía eso, por eso les digo, from now, you are going to take at least 10 minutes by yourselves to read every day. If you want to pass the Toefl test, you have to read, okay? Not just for grammar, it's necessary for all. According to the professor, why was the canoe important to some Native American group? Choose to answer. Number one, there was a network of waterways where they live. And number four, canoe travels help to relationship between groups of Native Americans. Yo no sé si ustedes se acuerdan, pero esta parte, according to the professor, why was the canoe important? Okay. Él mismo hace la pregunta en el audio. What is the investment into the Native American groups? So, snowy winters may land travel too difficult? No, it is irrelevant because when they ask about that specific canoe in some of the Native American groups, they ask a specific question. They weren't talking about snowy. They asking a specific question. Ok, entonces, obviamente esta, en este caso, se elimina, por ende. Ahora, el tricky era en esta. Some Native American groups sold ¿por qué? Porque aquí está en este caso diciendo una de las ventajas de por qué ellos hicieron ese trato entre naciones, por decirlo así, o entre países. Some Native American groups sold their canoes to other groups. Pero la pregunta era, por eso les digo, las preguntas de listening, las preguntas del Toefl test siempre salen de las preguntas de la gente que está teniendo la conversación. So, can you travel here from relationship between groups and Native Americans? Lo que les decía, o sea, crean una alianza. Teacher, es un montón de información. Sí, hijo, yo sé que es un montón de información, pero si usted se acostumbra desde ahorita a practicar, en este caso, la presión usted la va a sentir menos. Vamos con number 4. Why does the professor mention French traders who arrived in the Iroquois region? To support her point about how efficient the Iroquois canoe design was. Lo mismo, esta pregunta de Toefl sale de una pregunta que ellos mismos hacen. How they affect? What can be the benefits? So the question from the Toefl test is going to be at 80 or 90% from the conversation, to be more specific, for the question that they did. Casi todas las preguntas de listening salen, hey, y mira, ¿y por qué tal cosa? ¡Pum! La respuesta es la que va a dar el que va a hablar. El que, o sea, hey, mira, y fíjate que entonces, cuando ya el otro va a dar la respuesta, ok, that's the tricky. That's the tricky. So, let's see. Listen again on the per lecture, then answer the following question. Why does the student say this? Y aquí creo que no lo voy a poder hacer para abajo. Vamos a ver. No me da la opción para hacerlo para abajo. Okay. Why does the student say this? In order to give point of view. In order to give an opinion. So, how many questions do we have for every single listening test? At least 3 or 5, but no more than 6. No more than 6. So, easy? I know it's not easy. Complicated? Yes, it's a kind of complicated. But if you start to practice things from today, is going to be easier for you. Any question, my dearest students? Or everything is clear? Or kind of clear? Yes, teacher, everything is clear. Ok, señores, nos quedamos con el ejercicio número 1. For the next class, we are going to continue practicing with the exercise number 2 and exercise number 3. So your assignment, your homework, your practicing is this one. TOEFL practice vocabulary 2. So if you don't have any questions, so the class is done. And we are going to see in a few minutes. Señores, nos vemos a las 8:55 para su clase de didáctica. Espero que ya tengan sus libros a la mano porque, señores, hoy vamos a hacer planificaciones. Thank you, guys. See you in a few minutes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.